We're live, man.
All right. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Newington Town Council public hearing regarding the John Wallace Middle School renovation project. I'd like to call the meeting to order at 6:03 p.m. If you would please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance if you are able. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. If we could start with the roll call, please. Let me just pass that down and make sure this is it.
Councilor Yanis? Here. Deputy Mayor Bujoico? Here. Councilor Canillo?
Here.
Councilor Donahue?
Here.
Councilor Manley?
Here.
Councilor Nagel?
Here. I just need
Councilor
to get
Page?
up to you. Yes, here. Thank you.
Councilor Retta?
Thank you very much.
Mayor Del Rio?
Here. Thank you, Susan. You're welcome. All right, we have everyone present. We will continue now into the public hearing. So if anyone in the public is watching, you will have an opportunity to join via Zoom through the participants window. You can raise your hand to let us know that you'd like to be acknowledged. Anyone in the room is welcome to come up as well. We do try to limit our comments to 3 minutes if possible. And I would just like to read into the record the language that will be considered later on at our regular meeting, which is the purpose of tonight's public hearing. We will be considering the following language. Resolution authorizing an appropriation of $10,997,600 for the John Wallace Middle School renovation project and the financing of said appropriation by the issuance of general obligation bonds and notes in anticipation of such bonds in an amount not to exceed $5,498,800 and the use of grants and such other sources of funds, as well as establishing a date for the referendum. Those are the items that will be considered later on this evening at our 7 o'clock council meeting. Attached to the public notice is a 5-page document with the full draft language. So if anyone would like to come up and address the council, you're welcome to at this point. And if there is anyone online, I will keep an eye on that as well. I don't have any hands up online. Yeah, come on up. Mr. Bowles?
Barry Bowles, 28 Burton Lane, Newington, lifelong Newington resident. I'm very proud of that. I want to tell you a little bit of a story. I've lived in Newington, of course, all of my life. And when I was in the, it was the 5th grade, it was at the center school that is now an office building. And we were down in the basement. And to us 5th graders, it was like a 4th graders, actually, it was like a dungeon. Then we stayed there for the 5th grade. And in December of 1956, my parents moved to the upper end of Newington. I transferred then to Northwest Elementary School, as it was called then. And then, actually to us, it was brand new. A beautiful school. We were just so proud of that school. Then in 1957, we were supposed to go to the brand new Martin Kellogg Junior High School, as it was called. That was in September, but it was not finished. So we had to go on double sessions to the, what we called the dungeon, which was on the upper parking lot of this former town hall, and it was a dungeon. We were on double sessions from September until January, and we had to go from 12:40 p.m. to 5 o'clock. We were in the 7th grade. Then, of course, in January, we got notice that Martin Kellogg Junior High School was finished. So we were the first class in that brand new building. What a joy that was, after having been in the dungeon at the center school and then the dungeon at the former Newington Junior High School, as it was called. So this appropriation is, to me, it's a no-brainer. It's $10 million. I think there's a 50% rebate from the state. The state's flush with money. We should accept it. I did read somewheres, and I couldn't find it, that somebody said that there was possibly an 80%, but I think that's wishful thinking. But to me, like I'm going to tell you, this is a no-brainer. You have my full endorsement to do it. I'm sure you will. And I thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Bowles. We do have one hand up online, so I'm going to go and take that one now. The caller ID says Sean Holleran.
Thank you, Mayor DeBono. Can you guys hear me?
We can. If you could just state your name and address for the record, we'd appreciate that.
Thank you very much. Sean Holleran, 35 Florence Street in Newington, Connecticut.
Okay.
Thank you so much. I'm sorry I couldn't be there in person, but kids, that happens. Number one, I was actually just at John Wallace a few hours ago. My daughter is going into 5th grade, and we took an informal tour of the school. And the 5th grade wing looks great. It looks fantastic. But when you get to the rest of the wings, I'm talking shower curtains on the doors, file cabinets that look older than I am. It's not just a matter of safety, I think it's a matter of also the ability for students to focus and learn. I personally wouldn't have been able to focus in a classroom where all of those distractions were coming in, all of those auditory distractions interrupting my focus. So absolutely, this needs to be done. There's without a doubt this needs to be done, because it's not just about doing what's right for our school, but it's about modernizing it for the current day. It's not just about the doors. The safety is a huge concern. But I think the board has done a really good job, and I think the council has done a really good job at recognizing that this needed to happen a long time ago. But I was in shock. I was with other parents with how bad the school has actually been updated in terms of the way that students need to learn. Not just about the safety, not just about the doors, but even the lockers. I mean, they were cream and brown. It looked like a 1985 McDonald's in there. So I think even aesthetically, it's a long time coming. So I don't think that this is just the right thing to do for the town. I think it's a necessary to do for our kids in order for them to learn. I know it's $10 million with about 50% subsidized by the state, which I think is fantastic. As the last speaker said, it's a no-brainer. We have to do this as a town. It's the right thing to do for our kids.
Thank you, Mr. Holleran. Anyone else in the room that would like to come up?
Kathy Gonzalez, 44 Basswood Street. I've had 3 children go through the John Wallace school, and I agree with everything that Sean just said. Not only is it a safety need, it's also for kids to be able to learn. I'm in full support of this renovation of John Wallace.
Thank you. There is no one else online with their hand up. If anyone else in the room wants to come up.
Hi, Brittany Carr, 81 Mountain View Drive. I might be new to town. I've only been here about 1.5 years, and I don't have kids in the system, but I read over the proposal, and like everyone has said, it's a no-brainer. It definitely needs to be done. You know, I grew up in Naugatuck, and I wish we had something like this going into effect. It didn't happen until a few years after I graduated, and I think it's going to be great for the community and great for the students.
Thank you. All right, still no hands online, so if anybody else in the room wants to come up, you're welcome to. I'm just noticing Mr. Holleran's hand went back up, but there is only one opportunity by rules for people to speak at a public hearing, so we're not able to take him a second time. All right, anyone else? Going once, We're going to close our public hearing at 6:13 PM. And we will reconvene at 7 PM for our regular meeting, and this item will be on our regular agenda for discussion and possible action this evening. Thank you, everyone.